In math, we will often talk about like something or other. What does that mean? When we talk about like something or other, we mean that they're alike. That is, the same in some important way. When we talk about like terms, then, what is the important way in which they're the same? In order to answer that question, we need to talk a little bit more about the anatomy of a term. We see a term as having two parts that are multiplied together. So here's a typical term. Its two parts are the number part and the variable part. The number part of the term is called the coefficient. Everything that is not the coefficient is the variable part. When writing a term, we ought to write the coefficient first. But like many things we ought to do, occasionally we don't. So when you're looking for the coefficient, it may not be first, but it's always the number that you're multiplying together. So if I were to write x squared times 3 for some reason, 3 is still the coefficient, and then the part that's not the coefficient is still the variable part. What if we have a really complicated term? Something like this. Well, looking at this carefully, we see that we have three pieces that are all multiplied together. The 4, the x squared, and the x plus 2. Of those three pieces, only one is a number. Only the 4 is a number. 4 is the coefficient. And then everything else is the variable part. In this class, most of the terms that we see will look like this first one. A number multiplied by one or more variables or powers of variables. But those more complicated sorts of terms exist, and you should be aware of them. All right. Now that we have a little bit more language to describe a term, we can say what the important respect is in which like terms are alike. Like terms are alike in having exactly the same variable parts. So the pair 3x and 5x are like terms. 11x squared y and negative 17x squared y are like terms. 4x plus 2 and 5x plus 2 are like terms. Some examples of pairs that are not like terms. The pair 2x and 3y are not like terms. Why? Because x and y are different variables. The pair 5x squared and 4x are not like terms. Why? Because x squared and x, while they use the same variable, are not exactly the same. One of them is squared, the other one isn't. And the pair 4 times x plus 2 and 3 times x minus 2 are not like terms. Again, because x plus 2 and x minus 2 aren't exactly the same.